Hi, everyone, and welcome to another very special live event for the Hallmark Channel series, Ride. Now, we've got a really special little setup for you today because I know we've done groupings, but this time it's just me, Breanne Heldman, the senior editor of TV at People, and the amazing and lovely Tiera Skovbye, who plays Missy McMurray. Welcome.
Thank you. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So, Tiera, I feel like we've learned so much about Missy in the last few weeks. I mean, so much more than I think we knew about her before. And you've had a huge load to carry as an actor. How has the reaction been for you in the last few weeks?
It's really exciting because it almost feels like how it was for me, because obviously, like, as I'm getting these scripts and I'm reading it, like, I'm learning about her. And so I'm reading them and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I feel like it's been like a very similar reaction for the fans, like seeing it and discovering it as well. And so that's fun. Like, obviously I was so excited when I read the scripts and to tell these stories. So to be able to like have people enjoy them and be interested by, her journey is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we dive into last week's episode, which there's a lot to talk about, I want to go back all the way to the barbecue. And like that is where we started to learn this very big secret about Austin. Do you want to remind everyone what that secret was?
Yes. So at the barbecue, we meet Polly, who initially at the barbecue, she's very like elusive and doesn't really tell Missy what's going on or why, like how she was connected to Austin, but that there's a secret there and that she doesn't, want Missy to know. And it starts to like bring up a lot of stuff about, the integrity of Austin and their relationship and that kind of stuff. And then at the end of six, I'm getting all the, like, to me, it's just one long episode. Like, it's like just like a 10-hour long episode. So I have to like go in my head and be like, which was what? At the end of 7 is when Polly comes back and tells everybody that Austin was cheating or got her to help him cheat at bull riding.
When you first read that Polly had this secret about Austin, what did you think it was going to be when you got the scripts?
I mean, everybody's, I think when we got the scripts, it went to exactly where Missy's mind went when she's sitting in the car with Cash going, did he cheat on me? And so I think, he was away a lot. He traveled a lot. He was on the road. He was gone. Missy wasn't there. And so I think naturally that's where my brain went when I was reading that. And it's, and that's where Missy's brain went of like, was he faithful? What was he doing when he was on the road? And what was his connection to this other woman? And I think, Austin wasn't always the easiest man to read and he kept a lot of things inside. So Missy, I think at times felt very in the dark in their relationship, and he always put on this front and this face and that everything was okay. So I think there was a lot of things that she's realizing now that she didn't know about her husband.
Absolutely. So what did you think when you then found out that he was cheating at bull riding?
It honestly, that wasn't at all where my brain went. Like I was like, oh, okay.
Were you relieved?
I was because, like he's not there anymore. And so to be able to preserve the memory of their relationship as something that was loving and positive, I think is really beautiful. And I'm happy for that. It is, very hard and bittersweet. And it almost like, okay, we got that answer that he was doing that, but why? Why did he want to do that? What was the reason? So if anything, it actually just opened up a whole other box of way more questions.
Do you think, I mean, it does seem like this is the tip of the iceberg of Austin and his secrets. Do you think we're going to find out a few more of them between now and the end of the season?
I think so. I'm going to go with yes.
Are there some that maybe Cash or Isabel know that Missy doesn't know? Or do you think that everyone's in the dark about whatever he was hiding?
I think everybody's in the dark. I think there's maybe one or two people who know, and it's not who you think would know. But I think most people are in the dark because he was so good at putting on that front of charming and everything was fine. And so I think more people will be surprised than we realize.
All right. Great. Okay, I want to talk about the pageant past because the last time we all got together, we had just learned that Missy was had done pageants, and now we got to see her kind of go back into that and really embrace it in a way that she hadn't before, or at least that she hadn't talked about embracing it. What was that like for you shooting those pageant scenes?
It was fun, because everything we heard about Missy and her pageant past was something that was like forced upon her by her mom, and something that she like very actively pushed away from and didn't want to be involved in. And so I think, this was a bit of a moment for her to like take back her power and explore it for herself and, find an appreciation for the other side of it. Like, she wasn't the one on stage, but can actually appreciate the hard work and the skill and the effort that goes into being in a pageant and what it takes and the preparation. So I think she found a new appreciation for it. And I think that was really a fun thing for Missy to be able to explore, because it had been such a negative thing for her, like her whole life and her whole childhood. And yeah, like, I feel like it's never just a like easy situation for Missy. Like, you go in, you her, like, I feel like it's like, okay, like I've gone against this hurdle and I faced it and I'm here and I've decided to be the judge and now you want me to do it your way. Like, she's like always being like faced with things. So I think, I'm really glad that she stood up for herself and she made the decision to do what she felt was, morally right and pick the person that she felt deserved it, because I'm sure there was a lot of times in her past that, when in her pageant life with her mom, that it was like, it doesn't matter, just be the best, like whatever, we'll do whatever it takes to win. And you're like, well, no, if the best person should win, or the person who's, most qualified. So I think it was good.
Yeah, I loved seeing Missy continue to like really just embrace making the hard choice and like accepting that there might be repercussions. Are there going to be repercussions for her with Frontier because of that?
It's been a very rocky road with her and Frontier. She has not made it easy for them to continue to sponsor her. Or not sponsor her, but like have her be an ambassador. She's definitely been Missy's definitely been like testing her luck with them. But I think, they see the value in her and what she does and what she can do for Frontier. So I think it's a matter of continuing to navigate the relationships there.
Is it going to be affected at all by the fact that now JB knows about Cash's broken hand?
That does definitely make things a bit more difficult, because, it's so important to Cash to get this sponsorship. And so I think it's definitely, it stirs the pot a little bit. It makes things, a bit more intense for the rides that come, and the competition is out there. Like, there are other amazing bull riders. And so it's a matter of time before Frontier finds their next person. So it's kind of like the clock is ticking.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever do any pageants in real life growing up?
I did not. Well, I started acting when I was 7. So I feel like that is like a different version of it in a weird sort of way. So like, but not like typical pageants. No, I was never the like song and dance kind of girl. I was not very grateful. I can't sing. So yeah, there was probably some things working against me there.
So you're not going to be joining Tufts band anytime soon?
No. I will be gladly standing in the front row admiring, but I will not be joining.
Fair enough. Has there been, we were talking about how bold Missy was in that moment, but for you, is there a moment you feel comfortable sharing where you did kind of have to make that tough choice that you felt was right, even if it went against the grain?
Yeah, I mean, I think, growing up an artist was kind of something that, I remember being in high school and having to do certain projects that were like, okay, well, plan out where you're going to go to college and what you're going to study. And I would be like, well, I'm already doing what I'm going to do when I grow up, and I'm not going to go to college, and I'm going to just continue to do this, and I'm going to go to this acting school. And I remember teachers being like, okay, but what are you actually going to do? And I'm like, no, this is what I'm actually gonna do. I'm doing it. Like, after high school, I'm going to keep doing this. Like, I'm not gonna go to university. And that was, all my friends were planning where they were gonna go to school and what they were gonna study and what their job was gonna be, and getting, scholarships and tuition and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, I'm over here auditioning for things. And, a lot of times teachers were like, okay, well, and, even my parents were more supportive than a lot of my teachers. They were like, okay, like, if you work really hard, go for it. But my teachers were like, well, you're never going to make it. So what are you going to do? What's your backup? And I just didn't have one. And that's a scary thing. I never had a backup. I never had a plan B. I felt like if I had a plan B, then I would almost like not work as hard in a way. Like, I was like, I don't have anything to fall back on. So I have to give this 100%. And it's not like I don't have other skills that I could, figure it out. But I was like, I don't want a plan B, because this is all I'm going to do. And that was really, hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around.
Yeah. Well, shame on those teachers of little faith, because here you are.
I did have some wonderful teachers. My math teacher, who was also my little sister's math teacher, he, like, every time we had to leave because of an audition, he was like so supportive and so wonderful and so sweet. And like, when my sister and I are 7 years apart, so I'd already graduated when she was in high school, and so her whole journey, he was like, "How's your sister doing? I'm watching her shows," and then the same with her. So there were teachers that were like very supportive and wonderful, but they're it's skeptical. It's not a typical thing to just do.
Well, bless the math teachers. I also had a math teacher who was extremely encouraging of all things that had nothing to do with math. I love that. Speaking of love, though, we got to talk about that date with Gus. I was so excited to finally see them go on a date, and it seemed to be going well. Mm-hmm. And then Missy rebuffed that kiss. Why did she turn her head?
I think she panicked. I think it was a moment of like, I don't think that she's kissed anybody or been intimate with anybody since, Austin died. Like, I don't think she's even held anybody's hand since, her husband. And so that's a really big deal to like step, and I think for her going on the date itself was a big deal. And then, it all maybe was happening a little too fast, and she panicked and was like, am I ready for this? Like, and there's a bit of guilt in there too of moving on. Like, mm-hmm. She's always going to grieve Austin. She's always going to love Austin. And so this is the first step in finding love again after that. So I think there's a lot that's happening. There was a lot of emotions. And in that moment, she just froze and was like, probably the grief and the excitement and the fear, and it all just was like overwhelming. I actually have a really funny story from filming that date scene.
Yeah.
So I was wearing this beautiful Zimmermann dress, and it had all these buttons down the front, and we were sitting there doing the date scene, and I inhaled and I popped a button, and it flew across the table and hit Tyler in the face in the middle of the scene. And he didn't flinch, like, at all. And I was like,
wow.
Oh my God. And then afterwards he was like, is that your button? And I was like, yes, I just popped a button on my dress. And I was like, well, that's what would happen to Tiera on a date. Like, that's like that kind of thing would happen to me for sure. I was like, wow, this is so embarrassing. But
oh my gosh. Yeah. So did they come and like sew it back on, or did they have a backup dress?
They found it. They had to go and find the button and then sew it back on so we can continue to film the scene. And I was like, okay, I guess I can't move in this dress. I guess I'm just staying very still. But he literally just like kept going like nothing happened. I was like, a button just hit you in the face. That's really funny.
That's terrific. Well, good for him. That's some acting chops right there to be able to just pretend he didn't see it happen.
Seriously.
Plow through.
I broke. I was like, I started laughing, and he was trying to, and I was like, I can't, like we can't keep going. We have to do this again.
Also for fear of them using that take, and then like you are missing a button, and
oh my
continuity's mad, and yeah.
So funny.
So fast forward to the end of the episode. I was actually really surprised that the kiss then happened at the end of the episode. I was expecting a little more build up for this kiss to finally happen, maybe some twinkly lights. But no, we get this first kiss in the middle of the bar with the in-laws looking on. Did that surprise you that was where Missy and Gus were going to have their first kiss?
Yes and no. I think it was one of those moments where Missy was like, you know what, I can't hold myself back anymore. Like, I deserve to be happy, and he was there. And also I think she didn't know he was going to show up. Like, and him showing up and him apologizing made her realize, like, you know what, this is the kind of person that is worth taking a chance on. And so just going to seize the moment and just do it. So I think that it is in true Missy fashion of like, okay, we're just gonna go for it. Like, here we go. So yeah, no, I think it, it was like, obviously it's the setting with like Cash there and Isabel and everyone is like right there watching. But I don't think Missy really thought too much about it. I think it was a very like spur of the moment, like seize the day kind of thing.
Or grab the bull by the horns, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How many times do those jokes come up on set?
Oh my God, the number of times that we were like, that there was ride jokes or bull, like it was just endless. Like, yeah.
So are we to take that the end of the kiss was maybe not so good, that maybe there weren't a lot of sparks, or were there? Because I mean, they step away from the smooch and then she jumps on the bull. Like, they don't stand there having a Moony moment.
I think this is a very like I said, like a very like, it's Missy like taking control of her life and what makes her happy, and not staying in anybody's shadow to protect anybody, and not playing the like, and not feeling like she has to be like the perfect person. And so I think, her seizing the moment to kiss him and getting on the bull are all these moments of Missy being like, just like taking charge of her life and her own happiness for the first time. And so I think like, if anything, the kiss was like fueled that. And she's like, you know what? Like, I've watched Austin do this a million times. I've watched Cash do this a million times. Like, I can do this. And she never did, because he was always the one in the spotlight. He was always the one who was getting to, have fans scream at him. She was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to kiss the guy. I'm going to ride the bull. This is my life. Like, why would I don't have to be in anybody's shadow, and I don't have to be the girl who just kisses the guy and swoons and just stays there for him. Like, she's a strong woman. She's like, I'm not just here to be with a love interest. Like, I'm here to do this, to ride the bull. Like, she's figuring out her life and who she is. And so I think it was a really powerful moment for her to be like, yeah, I'm going to kiss the guy. I'm going to ride the bull. I'm going to do the thing. Like, yeah, I think it was awesome.
Okay, well, so real talk though, that bull ride, we saw throughout the episode, Cash was trying to beat Austin's record, and then Missy gets up, and he does, and then Missy gets up on that bull, and it's going, and I think we get to see up to like 16, 17, 18 seconds, and then boom, fade to black. Did Missy beat the record? We're going to see her name on the plaque.
There was a version of the script that was Missy beating the record. Like, it was all about Missy beating it. And then they changed it to Cash beating it and left it like elusive, because they liked, and I agree, like, we liked the idea that like Missy getting up and riding the bull was like a bit of a like, oh, okay, like what is, she's never done that before. And then her being like shocking everyone and herself a bit of being like surprisingly good at it. And so I think it's left open to interpretation. And I think it more so than her beating the record, it's more so her like proving that it's not just a boys game, you know, like that she's been, you know, she's been watching and training and doing bull riding her entire life. And she kind of gets up there and is like, yeah, me too. Like I'm playing this game too. And so I think, you know, whether she beats it or not, her getting up there and proving that she can hold on for at least 18 seconds is huge.
Yes, absolutely. Had you ever ridden a mechanical bull before this?
I had not, and it is so hard. It is. I was covered in bruises, and the next day I was like, oh my God, like things hurt that I didn't even know. I was like, why there's a muscle there? Like what like everything was sore. Like I felt like I had been like put through a massively hard workout because it's such a weird angle that you're holding on and you're like, and I had to do it in like dress pants and heels, which was not easy.
Did everyone get a turn on the bull?
No, no, I don't think so. I think it was just me, Beau, and James Tupper. Yeah.
I don't think we saw James Tupper do it.
Did he? I can't remember if we see
I
it
love
or
that
not.
he would have done it anyway.
There was a scene. We did film him doing it at one point. So I don't know if it ends up getting in the shot.
Okay, that's cool. I mean,
yeah.
James Tupper's a fun actor, and I love that he did that. Okay, we have a few more McMurray family questions we got to hit.
Okay.
So, you know, one of the big revelations from this episode that I found really intriguing was learning that Isabel was Missy's coach when she was trick riding, and that dynamic, there was, in just knowing that, for me, there was a significant dynamic shift because they had this intimate relationship that existed outside of the boys and outside of the marriage. And you know, a coach and an athlete can be a very familial relationship as well. So did you know all along that was kind of part of their backstory, or was that a revelation as you were reading the scripts?
It was a revelation as we were reading it. But I do think that like it makes sense as to why they're so close because, you know, in episode 3 or 4, again, one long episode in my head. Isabel's birthday, where my mom shows up. And I'm like, you have to love all of me, or it doesn't feel like love. And she's like, well, I do love all of you. And I say, well, not this part. And I think it makes sense as to why she's so close to Isabel, because Isabel always championed that. She was her coach. She taught her, she gave her the strength to do the thing that Missy loved, where her mom never gave her that. Her mom never accepted that part of her, never encouraged her to go and explore that. And so I think it deepens her bond with Isabel even more because, you know, not only is she a massive part of this family, but also she's the reason that Missy went on to do the thing that she loved.
Yeah, I think it adds a fascinating layer that's going to be interesting throughout the rest of the season and hopefully into season 2. Fingers crossed. We got to talk about Missy's new roommate, Valeria. We haven't actually seen them interact that much. What really is their dynamic?
I think we're figuring that out still. I think, you know, them moving in together is definitely a step in the right direction. It's a step into like them healing the relationship that was, you know, did get a bit broken when she left. So I definitely think that they're taking steps, and this is a really big one. So I think this is Missy finally accepting, like, okay, you messed up, you hurt me, but you're here and you're still my best friend. So let's figure this out. Let's, you know, this is like her forgiveness. Like, this is her going like, I forgive you. And I want you in my life. I need you in my life. Like, she really does need her.
Yeah, I think Missy having a roommate too is going to have to help her with healing because she's
for sure
going to be less alone for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that plays out for
Yeah.
certain. I loved seeing Cash talk about how affected he still is by his experience in the military. It was one of those storylines that I was like, oh, I really hope they don't drop this, because there's a lot of interesting things that could come up from that. I was so excited to see that come up. Are we going to see more about his experience, or at least how it's continued to affect him?
Sorry, my dog just woke up from a nap, trying to get on my lap. Come here. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah, come say hi.
Come here. Nope. And she's camera shy. She's trying to get to her food bowl. We just moved, so there's boxes everywhere, and she's so like overwhelmed by everything and has no idea where to go. It's really funny. Yeah, I think, that's something that I know for Beau, it was really important to explore that and to talk about that and have that be a part of his character and his story. And so I think they sprinkle it in moments here and there, and really let kind of Beau take the reins on how to portray that, because it is really important. Like, he was gone for a while and he came back, and it changed who he is, what he is he Scout?
Oh, did you say Scout?
Scout, yeah.
Oh, hi.
She's so tired. She's like not a morning dog. But yeah, no, it definitely is something that's really important, and I know it was really important to Beau to make sure that was something that was authentic and something that he got a chance to explore.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. One of the things I was most excited about with us getting to be Just Us Chickens is that without those boys, it's a lot easier to talk about the fashion. And we got the great story about the Zimmerman dress, but
Yeah.
Do you have another favorite look of Missy's thus far this season?
Oh man, the wardrobe on this show is so good. There were so many good outfits. I really like the all green outfit that she wears at the pageant. I thought that was really beautiful. Honestly, like, even just like the day-to-day outfits, the jeans, like, they're all like, they fit so well, the boots, the hats. Our hats were incredible. Like, I'm sure someone has told you about the way that those hats were made, like, specifically for us, and we got to like design them and everything. So I definitely think that like elevated everything, and it's amazing when you see like everybody's got their own specific hat, their own specific style, the way that they wear them, and I think it's really cool.
We got to do it. We got to see like a side by side of all the hats, and somebody like point out all the differences. That's fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of how many pairs of jeans you've had to try on over the course of the season?
Like, so many. Like, I would do like wardrobe fittings on my lunch break and after filming and stuff, because there was, and there's so many outfits, and our wardrobe team, my God, they worked so hard. Like, they were just like, because scripts come in late and they're like, okay, so now we need a pageant outfit. Now we need this. And they were custom making things, and they did such an incredible job. But jeans and boots for Missy was like a lot. Like, I think I couldn't even tell you. Like, I remember in my first, I did three really long wardrobe fittings, like right before we started filming the season. And it was like jean on, jean off, jean on, jean off. Like, it was just like to find the right ones and then to switch them up. And, also jeans, like, it's not the kind of jeans that like I would wear. Like, in day to day, like, there are specific jeans that are worn for certain things, and for riding, and for this and for that. And so it was really interesting because I learned a lot about jeans. I didn't know there were so many different types and stretches, and yeah, crazy.
I feel like you really are probably an expert now. Do you wear them in real life, or do you feel like it's too much? No more jeans, I'm out.
I still wear jeans all the time. And like, honestly, I really loved the way that like they made sure that it wasn't just like what we were wearing wasn't just like, they really tried to make it authentic to what people on ranches actually wear. Like, everything that we did was the real deal. Like, it was like, they did the research. Everything was like how it is. So I think that's really important, and adds to the element of like, making everything feel very real. We were filming on a real ranch. Like, it was all, yeah.
Awesome. All right. We're near the end. So what can you tease for us about this next episode?
What can I tease? Oh,
Well,
man.
I'll ask you a specific question.
Okay.
Are we going to get to see more of Cash's reaction to that kiss?
Oh, man. The next 3 episodes are so good. Yes, there will be more reaction, I think, from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is she going to regret having done it in public?
No, because
Good.
again, this is Missy.
It was a great
taking charge
moment.
of her life.
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't regret it, but life is complicated.
Are we going to get to see her ride again at all in the next 3 episodes? I love the trick riding scenes. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, this episode will air on Mother's Day. So with that in mind, do you want to give a Mother's Day shout out to your fictional matriarch, Nancy Travis?
Well, and Nancy was all of our set moms. Like, she'd be like, she had a coffee machine in her trailer, and she'd be like, coffee? After lunch coffee? Like, she took care of all of us, and she was wonderful. And she's got, 2 sons of her own and a dog that she loves more than anything. And she really is just the best and, like, so wonderful. So I hope she has a great Mother's Day.
Well, since you already mentioned that your mom watches these lives, do you want to give her a shout out as well?
Oh, I'm going to cry. Of course. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you. She watches everything that I do. She has me as a Google alert on her phone. So she gets, anytime there's anything that like comes up, she gets it before I've even seen it. Like, she'll send me things that I'll be like, oh, cool. Didn't even know that was a thing that I did. And she's like, we just moved. And my mom has boxes and boxes. She's kept every call sheet, every script, every like magazine, like article that me and my sister have done since we were babies. Like, she is the ultimate #1 fan. So yeah, she's the best.
Awesome. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so much fun. Thank you to all of you watching for joining us. And of course, make sure you tune in on Sunday at 9 p.m. ETPT on the Hallmark channel for the new episode of Ride. And of course, tweet along with us at #HallmarkRide.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.